Imagine walking into a supermarket. You just want to buy a pack of pasta, but suddenly someone loads your cart with an entire week's worth of groceries. That's exactly what it feels like when you first hear about ETFs. One purchase and you instantly have hundreds or even thousands of stocks in your portfolio. Sounds crazy, but that's exactly why ETFs are so brilliant for beginners. In this video, I'll show you the 5 best ETFs for beginners, what advantages they have, what differences to look out for, and how you can get started right away. Make sure you stay until the end because I'll share a simple strategy on how to combine these ETFs to build long-term wealth. But before we dive in, quick note, this is not financial advice. Everything I share is for information and entertainment only. Investing always carries risk, so please do your own research before making any decisions. Alright, let's get started. Why ETFs are so important for beginners. Many people who want to start investing ask themselves, should I buy stocks or maybe crypto or gold? The problem with single stocks is that you need a lot of knowledge. Which company is the right one? When should you buy or sell? And if your chosen stock crashes, you can lose a lot of money. An ETF takes that worry away. ETF stands for Exchange Traded Fund, a fund that's traded on the stock exchange. This fund tracks an index. An index is simply a list of stocks put together by certain rules. For example, the 500 largest US companies or the most important companies worldwide. When you buy an ETF, you automatically buy small portions of all the stocks in that index. That spreads your risk, since you're not betting everything on one company. And the best part, ETFs are cheap. Traditional funds often charge high fees, sometimes 2% a year. ETFs usually cost only 0.2 to 0.5%. Sounds small, but over 30 years, that can mean tens of thousands of euros difference. ETF number 1, the MSCI World. Let's start with the classic, the MSCI World. This ETF is probably the most popular beginner ETF. It contains around 1,600 companies from 23 developed countries. Big names like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Nestle, and Toyota are included. That means when you buy the MSCI World, you're automatically investing in the strongest economies of the world. You get exposure to the US, Europe, Japan, and more with just one product. Advantages? Very broad diversification, easy to understand. Many brokers offer it for free in savings plans. Disadvantages? No emerging markets included. Countries like China, India, or Brazil are missing. Heavy US weighting around 60%. But for beginners, the MSCI World is almost perfect. Just set up a savings plan and let it run. By the way, let me know in the comments if you're already investing in the MSCI World. I'm curious how many of you started with it. And if you like the video so far, drop a like. It really supports the channel. ETF number 2, the FTSE All World. The FTSE All World is basically the bigger sibling of the MSCI World. While the MSCI World covers only developed markets, the FTSE All World also includes emerging markets. Altogether, it holds over 4,000 companies. That means alongside Apple, Microsoft, and Nestle, you also get exposure to Alibaba, Samsung, Tata, or Vail. You get more diversification and also benefit from growth in emerging markets. Advantages: very broad diversification. Developed plus emerging markets. One ETF is enough for a global portfolio. Disadvantages: emerging markets are more volatile. Costs slightly higher than MSCI World, around 0.22 to 0.25%, but still cheap. Perfect for anyone who wants global coverage right from the start. No adjustments needed. ETF number 3, the MSCI Emerging Markets. This ETF is for those who want to add extra growth. Emerging markets means developing economies such as China, India, Brazil, South Africa, and Mexico. Why are these interesting? Populations are growing fast and economies are catching up quickly. More people equals more consumption, more products, more services, and more profits for businesses. Advantages: potentially high returns through strong growth. Broad exposure across many emerging countries. Disadvantages: higher risk, political instability, currency swings, market volatility. Better as a complement to the MSCI World, not a standalone base. Many experts suggest a mix. For example, 70% MSCI World and 30% MSCI Emerging Markets. That way you combine stability with growth opportunities. ETF number 4, the S&P 500. The S&P 500 includes the 500 largest US companies. Firms like Google, Facebook, Tesla, Johnson & Johnson, or Procter & Gamble. The US is still the largest and most important economy in the world. Many of the most innovative companies are based there. That's why the S&P 500 is an extremely popular ETF, even in Europe. Advantages: focus on the strongest economy. Historically high returns, about 8 to 10% per year on average. Very transparent and well-known. Disadvantages: not global, only US stocks. Less diversification compared to MSCI World or ACWI. Great as a supplement for those who want extra US exposure. ETF number 5. The MSCI CWI All Country World Index. Now for the all-in-one ETF, the MSCI CWI. It combines the MSCI World with emerging markets. That means both developed and developing countries are included, over 2,800 companies worldwide. Advantages: maximum simplicity. One ETF covers everything. Global exposure in a single product. Disadvantages: slightly higher costs than MSCI World. Less focus on individual regions. Perfect for beginners who want it simple. One ETF, done. How to use these ETFs in practice. If you're just starting out, I recommend beginning with a global ETF like the MSCI World or ACWI. Both are solid foundations. If you want more variety, combine MSCI World with emerging markets, for example 70-30. That way you balance stability and growth. And if you're especially confident in the US, you can add the S&P 500. The key: just start. Don't wait for the perfect strategy, it doesn't exist. What matters is that you begin investing. A word on costs. All of these ETFs are very cheap. The TER, total expense ratio, usually lies between 0.2 to 0.4%. That may sound tiny, but over decades it adds up massively. Comparison: if you invest €100 a month in an ETF with 0.2% fees, after 30 years with 7% returns, you'll have about €120,000. With 2% fees like many traditional funds charge, you'd have only about €80,000. That's a €40,000 difference, just from fees. Keep emotions out. The best thing about ETF investing: you don't need to watch the news every day or guess where the market is heading. With a savings plan, you buy automatically each month, sometimes at higher, sometimes at lower prices. Over time, this averages out. This is called the cost average effect. It takes the emotion and timing risk out of investing. Your plan runs quietly in the background while you live your life. Mistakes to avoid. Common beginner pitfalls. Buying too many individual stocks and increasing risk. Stopping the savings plan when markets fall. Being impatient and quitting after 2 years. Investing is a marathon, not a sprint. The first years are boring, but the real acceleration comes after 10 to 20 years. Stay consistent, and you'll be rewarded. Conclusion and call to action. To sum up, MSCI World equals the classic. FTSE All World equals even broader coverage. MSCI Emerging Markets equals extra growth. S&P 500 equals US focus. MSCI ACWI equals everything in one. If you're ready to start, pick one of these ETFs. Set up a savings plan and begin. The most important step is starting. Now it's your turn. Which ETF do you like best? Let me know in the comments. I read everything and reply. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And if you're new here, hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any tips. Thanks for watching. And remember, your money can work for you if you invest it right. Start today, even if it's just €100 a month. In a few decades, you'll thank yourself.